Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda. I'm autistic. I have ADHD. I have total aphantasia, which means that I don't visualize or experience any of the senses in my mind. And I have a memory disorder called severely deficient autobiographical memory, which means I don't create autobiographical memories of my life. I just have like a grocery list of facts about things that happened. So I have videos on all of these, so make sure you check them out. And today's video is Tea Time with Amanda, or an Amanda's Rambles, because basically I was kind of moping around the house and my husband said, hey, why don't you go film a video, because that always cheers you up. And he's so right. Whenever I sit down in front of the camera, knowing that I'm talking to you guys, by the end of the video, I'm feeling so much better. Y'all really do just bring joy into my life, which it's kind of what's been on my brain a lot this last week and a half or so, is fun and joy and things like that. So a little while ago, I came across mention of a book called The Power of Fun by Catherine Price. Basically, somebody said, if you've ever been accused of not being a fun person, this book is for you, because she breaks down what it is to have fun in scientific manner. And I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Y'all know that I love studying like how our brains work. And so like, if we can break down fun into the science of how our brain perceives fun, like that sounds really interesting. So I'm about a third of the way through the book, and I really like it. It's definitely written for neurotypical people. I'm hoping at some point she will include some information about specifically people with ADHD, just because she is talking a lot about shortened attention spans that are happening in our society right now with screen times and technology. And so it'd be interesting because she's talking about it from a neurotypical point of view. And well, what if you already have a disorder that is, often short attention spans? How does that affect with screen times? But like I said, I'm about a third of the way into the book. And the reason why I picked it up, other than the reason just because I love learning about how our brains work anyway, is because of that like hook that somebody said, has anybody ever accused you of not being a fun person? And not that like anybody in my life necessarily has said that to me, at least not recently. Again, memory disorder, so I mean, I'm sure somebody has, but I sometimes lately especially feel like I'm not a fun person. And I don't mean it like I'm being hard on myself or anything like that. And I think that it has to do more with having autistic burnout. Because I don't feel like I used to always be this way. And I have to say words like, I don't feel like I was this way. And that's because of my memory disorder. So when I use language like that, it's because I don't have memories of how I used to be. But I do feel like I used to have more fun. And now when I think of the things that sound like they are fun to other people, all I hear is work. Like that sounds like a lot of work. And so work is kind of like not usually equated with fun, right? But I do have like moments of autistic joy. Like that's a term that's used in the autistic community. And I think, other people have joy too. But there's like a certain flavor of the autistic joy. And it's where usually that term is when something about our autism, where we catch and focus on something that other people might just walk on past, Like when I was at the river yesterday, I saw this teeny tiny little inchworm. It was like about the size of my pinky fingernail, maybe even a little smaller than that. And I sat there captivated by this little inchworm, like working its way around a rock, and kind of just like lost track of time. Was just sitting there, like getting my nose like an inch away from it, just kind of just watching this little worm crawl across this rock. And it was just pure joy for that moment. And so I can have these moments of joy. But in the book, The Power of Fun, Catherine Price, when she's breaking down fun, first off, she wanted to define it, and she wanted to separate what she calls true fun from fake fun. And to have true fun, she says, you have to have connection, playfulness, and flow. And flow is that, like, when you get lost, like, you're not paying attention to time, you're just in that moment. Connectiveness is with another person. I'm wondering, like I said, I'm only third way in the book. Like, maybe you're just connecting with yourself. Like, if that's the truth, like, I had fun watching that inchworm, but I wasn't doing that with anybody else. It was just me and the inchworm having a moment of enjoyment. He was so cute, guys. Anyway, and then playfulness. So a lot of the times when I think of things, for instance, like, I want to go on a vacation with my family. Well, that should be fun, but all I'm thinking of is the work that has to go into planning a vacation. And that's why I think that autistic burnout has something to do with it. Just because if I wasn't feeling so exhausted by daily life, then I would have more brain space to do things that should be fun and not work. And so yesterday also, I was scrolling on TikTok, and there's a creator with a really large platform. She's amazing. Her name is Melissa, and I think her username is Laundry Talk. And she said her wife really wanted to go to the Taylor Swift concert, but they couldn't get a ticket. And so she decided to create a concert for her wife at home. And she went all out. She made t-shirts. She bought a new doormat for their front door that said something about Taylor Swift. She bought lights to put in their living room to make like strobe lights. She made fake Taylor Swift money so that her wife could shop the merch store. What else did she do? Like I said, she went all out planning this event for her wife, just the two of them at her house. And at the end of the little TikTok, her wife was like, "Oh my God, this is so awesome. Oh my gosh, like so happy." And it was beautiful, and I love it. And she was correct. She was being playful. She was connecting with her wife. And I'm sure that while they were like listening to the Taylor Swift songs together, they probably like got into a flow and wasn't paying attention to like, oh, what time is it, right? Like, they were probably in that moment together. And all I could do when I was hearing her talk about this was like, holy cow, that's a lot of work to basically essentially be listening to the radio in your living room. And it sounds so incredibly cynical, and I hate it. But that's what my brain, it like just goes to the practical aspect of it. So a lot of times lately, like even with my kids, especially because there's a lot of anxiety involved with my kids and me, to make something fun and not anxious, like, it's so much work that the fun, like, to get to the fun is so hard. Like, even yesterday when we went to the river, I've been wanting to go to the river all summer. It's the first time I went back to the river since my diagnosis last fall. We live in the Pacific Northwest. Swimming in the rivers here is really cold, but they're beautiful. And it's one of my favorite things about living in the Pacific Northwest, or so I thought. So again, as I'm unmasking and learning who I am, what I am, I was so much more aware of all the sensory experiences at the river. And part of the problem was yesterday it was really crowded. Normally the spot that we go to has always been fairly isolated, but more and more people have found out about it. So now there's like, it was like this huge group of friends there with lots and lots of kids, and they were having fun. Yay. But it was loud. And normally when we go there, I just love listening to the sound of the river. I couldn't even hear the river because the people were all so loud. All I could hear was the people. And it was hot, and the sunscreen was oily, and the water was cold. And if y'all have seen previous videos of mine, I hate cold. I hate being cold. But like before my diagnosis, even though I always struggled to get into the river because of the temperature, I was so focused more on being at the river and not the sensations, not the sensory experience. It's like part of my mask would like be to tune out sensory experiences that I didn't like. Like that was part of my mask, which protected me. And as I've been unmasking, like that layer of protection is disappearing, which isn't, I mean, I think it's a good thing for your senses, but on the other hand, it's like leaving me with, oh my gosh, even going to the river right now is hard. And then my kids were also having all these sensory experiences. And I'm like, at one point I'm like, is it even worth it? Why did I even come? But once we were there. So it's like, okay, let's just try to enjoy the afternoon. And once we were there for a while, I kind of just like, I guess, adjusted to the environment again. The kids got into the deep water and I heard them laughing. And once they started laughing, I think some of my anxiety lessened. It's like, okay, their sensory is kind of getting okay, and they're now having some fun. So now I can relax and maybe have some fun. And it was just this whole weird, I was having a hard time being in the moment. I was too busy thinking about the moment instead of just being in the moment. Which, you know, I do that, but not always. So my brain is stuck because it's like, I want to be a person who has fun, but I also am trying to learn what fun looks like for me, because I think that's another part that I got stuck on, is other people's expectation of fun. So like, you know, when you're scrolling Instagram or scrolling TikTok and you see people throwing parties or going to concerts or going to the beach or the river or whatnot, and they're like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. And you're like, okay, that's what fun looks like, because I'm a logic like person. And then you try to copy that, but it's not fun for you. And then it's like, wait, what is fun? What was I masking fun? Like when I had fun before, was it really fun for me? Or was I saying things were fun because that was the expected? Like when you're at the river, you're supposed to be having fun. I wish I had my therapy session on Monday, guys, but today's Saturday. I'm on therapy to Wednesday, but like this has been just brewing in my brain. Y'all know I like to process out loud. I can't wait to hear y'all's thoughts in the conversation. I am just it's not the autism. Autistic people can have fun. I think it's the fact that I'm in autistic burnout. But I can still have moments of joy and fun, and I want more of those, and I want to get to those, and I want to like figure out what is true fun for me, like the author Catherine Price was talking about. She was talking about how fake fun is like scrolling on different apps, and it gives you like hits of dopamine and your brain registers it as fun, but then as soon as you close the app, that's not like a memory that you've created. Like when you spend the day at the river with your family and you do have true fun and connectedness, flow and playfulness, then later you're left with like a memory. See, that's another problem though, because of my memory disorder. So maybe this is a me thing. Maybe this won't be relatable to anybody. I don't know. But it's something I'm really struggling with this week. And so I just wanted to share it with y'all. Maybe I'm not alone in this. Maybe other people with their unmasking process are also struggling with finding joy and fun in their lives. I don't know. Okay. I know y'all usually love my Amanda's tea time rambles one, but I feel like this one wasn't super uplifting. But thank you guys, because this community is so important, because we don't have the supports out there. We do not have therapists who are trained in late diagnosed autistic women. There might be a few of them out there. And if y'all have therapists that are trained in supporting late autistic diagnosed people, hold on to them. And especially if you mesh with them, hold on to them for dear life. Because for the most of us, the community that we're creating and the comments and the like, oh my gosh, I don't feel alone here. This is where we are getting support, because it's not out there in our real lives right now. We have to find it on the internet. And so it's really important. So thank you guys for being a community with me and with each other. Until the next one, guys. Bye. Love you.